welcome back to the garden. It is the end of August 2023. I'm not sure what's going on today, but it's taking me like 10 times longer to shoot the intro than it normally does, and it normally takes a while because this is, in my experience, the most awkward part. But at this point, I'm just going to challenge myself to get through it. I'm happy to be back here with you all today. If you're a returning watcher, if you are new here, welcome. Please subscribe to my channel, and it's good to have you here. I hope that you all have been doing well since my video last month and that you've been enjoying the summer. If you're heading back to school here in the next couple days or weeks, good luck with going back to school, and I hope that you're able to enjoy the final days of summer before you have to go back. As you can see, it's kind of a gloomy day here in Portland. It's been pretty gray, kind of off and on sunny throughout the day, and even a little bit of rain. Some gray clouds are rolling in, so it might actually start raining when I'm shooting this video. But today I wanted to show you all around and then also spend some time checking in with the goal planning that I talked about back in my January video. Now that we're more than halfway through, Beep is up there on the roof. Now that we are more than halfway through the year and towards the end of the summer, I thought now would be a great time to check in on some of those goals that we had set at the beginning of the year, and also spend some time showing you all the garden journal that I've been using and kind of what that process has been like. And lastly, I have a couple projects here around that I wanted to get done today, and so I thought I'd bring you all along for those as well. So with that, I need to be finished with this intro, so let's go ahead and wrap this up and get started on the tour. All right, well, we are joined today by this little lady up on the roof. Everyone say hi to Beep. Beep, Beep, say hi. Okay, nope, she's on her way. Oh my gosh, y'all, I have never been more excited to be done with an intro. The intros are always the most awkward part for me to shoot for these videos. I'm still getting used to talking to the camera, and today it just took like way longer than it normally does, so I'm happy to be done with that part and moving into what's next. Okay, Beep. What? Yeah. What? Oh. So here we are. As I mentioned, it is the end of August 2023. It's a little bit of a mess back here, but that's because the backyard is filled with all of our fun summer activities. Kyle and I went camping a couple weeks ago, so we've got our camping stuff out, our water fun blow up inflatables, and then a bike. Kyle got me a new bike for my birthday, so that's what this is. Ooh. Anyway, okay, so getting started with the tour. Over here you can see the camellia and the hosta are both doing really well, as are these ferns. But I was checking back here recently and I still don't see any, I'm not gonna get too close to the fan because of the audio, but I'm not seeing any bergonias in there, and so I'm thinking maybe a squirrel got to them or something. We'll have to, maybe in the fall when everything dies back and I cut this hosta down, I can dig around and see if I can find any of the bulbs in there. But so that's one thing that is a little different this year. No bergonias. If you remember last year, by this point I think they were all blooming and pretty lush. Oh, she made it over. Other than that, over here the honeysuckle's still doing well, putting out new flowers, and the hummingbirds are still loving it. Most of the gladiola flowers are have died back, and I noticed, I think, like one or two more that had those stripes I talked about last month. So I'll have to, I'm feeling some rain sprinkles. I'm gonna step under the umbrella. I haven't treated those at all, so I still need to kind of figure out what I want to do with those. What are you doing? Yeah. But other than the gladiolas, we still have some more flowers that are normally later blooming. Sometimes flowers don't even start blooming until like October. So lots still on the way. These are some, I think they're asters, and I'm happy to see them coming in and starting to bloom. Remember, the asters and the chrysanthemums are the stuff in here that I divvied up and redistributed to kind of make the colors a little bit nicer. So it's nice to see that those came back. The dahlias have started opening up. One of the things that I wanted to come out and do today was cut these dahlias and bring them inside to put in a vase, because the more that you cut the flowers, the more it'll encourage new shoots and new buds to grow. It's kind of counterintuitive, I think, if you're new to gardening and new to growing flowers, but the more that you cut the flowers, the more flowers you'll actually get. So yeah, happy that those are finally blooming. Down here we have some more, okay, a lot of things, but some more chrysanthemums coming in. These I showed last month too. I still didn't look up what these are, but they're cute little dainty flowers. Some more over here. But yeah, it's just super lush in here. So even though a lot of the flowers have already died back and those colors are gone, it's still nice to just have a lot of greenery here for now. Oh, this is a little water bowl that we put out here last week during those really hot days. I've been getting lots of cute videos of all the animals enjoying these little water dishes, so I'll try and add in a couple here for you guys to take a look at. We put one out here, and then we have another one up on the table, that terracotta tray, and then a couple in the front yard too, which is really important. Remember, on those super hot days to, if you have a yard and if you're able to, leave some water out for the animals like squirrels and birds, but also bees and pollinators. They all need water too on those hot days. Oh, there she goes. You can see here the chrysanthemums that I divvied up are also coming in nicely. You can see the buds there. I would guess that these probably aren't going to bloom until October, just given how far along they are now. And I think October was when they bloomed last year. We have apples that are pretty decently sized. I need to double check exactly like how you know when they're ready to pick. Like, I could pick them now, but they might not be, it might not be the perfect time yet. Since we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm thinking of making just a little jar of apple butter with these. So, oh, she made it back down. So I'll let you all know how that turns out. Our garden bed is just going crazy. We try different things every year, but it always gets to a point where the tomatoes are so huge that it's just like really hard to maintain. But as you can see with all the red ones, they've been ripening now, and so we've been able to harvest a bunch of those. Unfortunately, something that's been going on with pretty much all of our tomatoes so far, and also our peppers, is this right here. This is, I've been looking around and reading that this is blossom end rot, and that happens when the fruit don't have enough calcium like reaching them. So at first I thought that what that meant is that like we needed more calcium in the soil, and so I was looking around for some calcium like fertilizer or additives, but I've been reading more into it, and apparently blossom end rot can also happen, and like lack of calcium in the fruit can happen when the plants are watered irregularly, and I think that is actually probably more likely what's happening, especially during the really, really hot days here. And while Kyle and I have been traveling and having other people check in and water our plants, sometimes the watering isn't as, regular and timely as it normally is. So the nice thing is, so I don't think we need to add any calcium fertilizer, but the nice thing is also when it's just kind of local on the bottom like this, you can still use the rest of the tomato. So we've been picking a lot of these now, and it's always fun when the tomatoes finally come into being ripe. Some more peppers. That one's nice and big. These are the Anaheim peppers, Anaheim chilies. All these jalapenos, so many. They're looking much better now. We came through and picked a bunch that also had the blossom end rot, and Kyle made some salsa with them. Another thing I'm gonna try and make is some like hot pepper jelly to use on like crackers and things. Since we have so many hot peppers, I thought that'd be a fun thing to try. Our cucumber plant is looking a little tired and dry, but you can still see we've got a few fruit on there. And a flower, some more to come maybe. The cucumber and the zucchini have definitely slowed down over the last couple weeks, and we've actually been kind of excited and okay with that, because for a while we were just getting so many cucumbers and so many zucchini that we didn't even know what to do with it all. So it's a very welcomed break. The mugwort came in nicely too. This one's looking a little bit dry on the ends, but this one's nice and lush. And this is the western mugwort, I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah, white sagebrush is another name for mugwort. Artemisia ludoviciana is maybe how you pronounce that. I'm planning on coming in and harvesting some of this to dry and use for some lotions that I'm wanting to make. Coming over to this side, this is kind of a makeshift cover that I was using. We don't really need it today, but during the really hot days, it was good to shade our plants because they were getting a ton of hot, direct sun. You can see that our archway didn't end up, filling in the way that we'd hoped, but still, it's been, I would say, a success just in how quickly this cucumber grew up the trellis. I think it looks pretty nice. So here are all of our non-fruiting trees, meaning just that they haven't fruited yet for some reason. Probably we're thinking because they need another tree to pollinate with, but yeah, we're not seeing any pears on this. The two taller ones are the pears, and no apples on the columnar apple, but I mean the trees themselves seem to be pretty healthy. We've got what looks like more blueberries coming in, but it's been so hot. Oh, look, I just got rid of that one. Well, that was pretty blue. Maybe I'll eat that. Oh, it's a little sour. Ooh. And over here, this garden bed is also looking a little weathered. One good thing that we've noticed is that even though Kyle and I haven't really been as on top of coming out here to treat the squash bug infestation that I talked about last month, you can see there's one right down there. It looks like a lot of new leaves have grown in. So the plant is nice and lush again, because last month we had, or I don't remember if it was last month or the month before, but when we first noticed all the squash bugs, we came in and cut down some of the leaves that were really badly kind of infested or, looking like this. And since then it's put out a bunch more new leaves, so that's nice. Even though we're still seeing some squash bugs around, it seems like the damage, we were able to avoid a lot of the damage by that first round of cleaning those bugs out. These are the shishito peppers. This red one looks like it's good to go. Oh, maybe even too dry. Look at that. We'll have to come out and cut some of these. Moving over here. The basil plant is looking good. Kyle's been staying really on top of coming and picking it a lot to prevent it from going to seed and helping it to become more kind of full. But we've been using a ton of basil for with the tomatoes now that those are, see, there's like the flowering part right there. Get rid of that. Y'all, fresh basil, the smell of fresh basil and the fresh tomato plants, even just rubbing it like this, it smells so good. Oh my gosh. It's my favorite part of summer and of having a garden is the caprese. You can see all of these eggplants that have been growing nicely. Our neighbor has harvested a couple of them, and he gave us a couple we used in a stir fry the other night. And I have to say it was yummy. I've never tried eggplant before, but it was pretty good. The mint and the rosemary. Oh, there's a birdie. She sees a hummingbird. You better not beep. Did you see it? So coming over here, this is what things are looking like. I finally got around to finishing these new strawberry cages that I made. I made these with this metal netting material, and then might have been a more efficient way to do this, but what I ended up doing was just kind of tying the pieces, this is like 3 pieces together with a bit of jute string that's totally biodegradable and great to use in the garden. It's the same material as the netting that we've been using around as well. And I kind of just made these little cages that come off like that, so we can take them off when we're ready to harvest and then put them back on. They're not maybe the best quality product, but it works, and we've been enjoying being able to actually harvest the strawberries before the rats and other rodents and things get to them. We haven't gotten a ton, and so what I kind of do with them is, pick them. We might get 1 or 2 a week right now, maybe a little bit more, and I kind of just pop them in the freezer to use in smoothies. All right, she's ready to go inside. What? Yeah. Okay, bye, babe. The eucalyptus shoots down here are looking awesome. It's growing in nice and lush, which I love. This one, we haven't had as much new growth recently on the top. And like I said, it's probably just a matter of time before I'm ready to come and cut it down. Now she wants back out. What? Let's see, do you think she's gonna run away when I open it? Oh, okay. She's like, no, I wasn't done yet. I'll have to look up when the best time to prune a eucalyptus tree is because, yeah, I think I'll end up with both of them just coppicing the tree so that it puts more energy into these nice new shoots at the bottom. We've got some new ones here at the ends, but the shape has just gotten a little wonky. Ooh, oh, and Luka came to say hi. What a baby. Oh, he's been a big sleeper all day. Normally I'd bring him out with me, but he was sleeping all afternoon. The mint has also grown back beautifully. I cut pretty much all of this down a couple weeks ago, I think, and harvested the mint. The mint is one of the projects I mentioned in the intro of the video that I'm gonna cut down today. I want to cut a lot of this mint and a lot of that a lot of that rosemary and use it to make a spray for my hair, which I'll talk a little bit about more later. All right, so I think that about does it for the first part of our video today, the garden tour. Again, this is what things are looking like here at the end of August. Still pretty lush, but a lot of things that are already died back and dry, which makes sense given how hot it's been. So now let's go ahead and spend some time doing some goal check-in and talking about my journaling. Okay, and before the goal check-in, actually, I wanted to come back and cut down some of this mint, some rosemary, and I did end up cutting some eucalyptus as well. I'm using these to make a root spray for my hair that's supposed to help nourish the scalp and promote healthier hair growth is what I'm hoping. But basically you take all of these herbs and you steep them in boiling water overnight to create a really strong infusion, and then I added some apple cider vinegar and put it in a spray bottle, and that's about it. You just spray it on your scalp and rinse your hair with it. All right, y'all, so now that the garden tour is done, this feels like it's been a very chaotic video shooting this month. So I'm excited to just be sitting down and to be talking to you about something a little different. But in my last video in July, I mentioned that I'd been using the Green Witch's Garden Journal. I've been using this now for about a month and I really enjoy it. It is created by Murphy-Hiscock, who is the author of The Green Witch. I read their book, and I've really enjoyed both The Green Witch and The Green Witch's Garden that goes along with this book, so I would highly recommend those, especially if you use plants as a way as part of your spiritual practice. I think that this journal and this book has been really cool. So how this journal works, the first main section is this weekly journaling part, and this is where you can come each week and just take notes daily if you can about like what's going on in the garden, what are you noticing, the goal being that in future years I can come back and read through this to say like, oh, you know, when did the chrysanthemums bloom last year, and like, oh, okay, I wrote it in the 3rd week of October or something like that. So this is what they look like. You can put the dates and then the daily temperatures, whether there was any rainfall. This is the page where you can add notes for each day of the week. You can also jot in the moon phase. As I think I've mentioned before, like in the Farmer's Almanac, it talks about planting along with the moon cycle. It's a good place to jot that down as well. You can have a little to-do list of things you need to do. You can mark little like critters you've been seeing around the yard, pollinators, ladybugs, birds and hummingbirds, all of that stuff. So this has been really helpful for me. I've been highlighting the first time I'm noticing different plants being like ready to be picked. So for example, this was the week of July 24th, and it was that week I noticed was when the peppers looked like they were ready to be picked for the first time. I also use it to mark like the first time I noticed the buds on the dahlia flower were coming in, so it was getting ready to bloom. So yeah, that's the first part of the journal. And again, that one's just really fun to like, I like to come out here in the morning, maybe bringing Luka on his harness, and then just taking some time to kind of look around and jot down some notes. So that's been really nice. And then the second part of the book is this plant compendium is what it's called. It's a place where you can take notes on the like specific plants in your garden and what you use them for. This is what they look like. There's a place for you to add a picture of your plant, or I have been adding in little drawings. These are our strawberries. So you can put information about like the plant's common name, its Latin name, description about the plant, like how tall it gets, how far apart to plant them. And then on this page is where you have more details on like, yeah, how to plant it, what type of fertilizer it likes, when to prune it, things like that. And I've been using these pages for more information about the different types of plants. So if I'm trying to remember like, oh, okay, what type of fertilizer does the strawberry like? I can have that documented here. This is just a good place where you can come and like find information on the different plants. So for example, Kyle and I recently got a pink jasmine plant that I added in here. The tags that come with the plant normally have a lot of information around like how big the flower is, how far apart to plant them, and then information on like watering and how much sun they like, pruning. So I just basically took all of the information on this card and then added it into the pages here. I've really been enjoying using the journal. It's added an extra way for me to feel connected to the plants that we're growing here, which is something that's really special for me. I definitely consider taking care of plants in connection with nature as a part of my own spiritual practice. And so this journal has just been helping me kind of deepen that sense of connection with what's going on out here. All right, we're almost done. The next thing I wanted to do was go over my goal planning that if you remember in the January garden tour, I spent some time talking about different goals that we had for this coming year. So yeah, I thought that now would be a good time to go through those goals. The first one I'm seeing here is separating the eucalyptus trees that I had layered under those rocks. I did technically do that. They weren't as successful as I was hoping for, but that's all right. We also talked about separating the chrysanthemum plants and the asters. I did both in, I don't remember what video that was, but that's also the nice part about making these garden tours, is that in addition to the journal, I can use the videos as a way to kind of go back and remember when things were happening in the garden or when I did certain things. Propagating the lamb's ear was one we took care of. We tried propagating the roses, but I don't really think it worked. I think we might have waited too long to do that this year, so next year we'll have to do it a little bit earlier. All right. What else? Get a bigger bird feeder. We did that. We also got a bigger bird fountain, and I'll add in some more footage because we've just lately, more birds have discovered the bird fountain and the bird feeders that we have in the front yard, and it's just been so fun, like getting to watch the birds. And the cats obviously really love it too when they come up right next to the window. So yeah, that's been a really fun thing to do this year. I just got a low power notice on my phone, so I really need to wrap it up. Oh, there's a hummingbird right here. I don't know if you can see behind me. There it is. So this is a great way to showcase how, yeah, we've just been having more fun inviting the birds into our yard. Oh, it's sitting up on the, I don't know if you can, oh, it was sitting up on the light. Oh, okay. I've been loving the birds. Okay, moving on. Plant strawberries, that I got done. Buy a rain barrel, that is one that we didn't end up doing, but God, we should have, because I'm picturing like having a rain barrel and a drip tape just right here in the flower bed. It would make it so nice on the really hot days. The wildlife habitat certification, I haven't followed up with our landlord about that yet, but she is very into gardening, so I think she would be really on board with that. I'm want to thank you all so much for joining me this month. I hope that all of you are enjoying the rest of your summer, whether you're heading back to school or not, or looking for work like me. I hope you're all doing well. Tomorrow is a full moon. If you like to do things to commemorate the full moon, I am one of those people. I hope that you have a fantastic full moon. I hope you all take care, and I'll see you next month in September. Bye.